video, we're going to go over a little bit more in-depth ways to use Canvas, which is our learning management system, to get a little bit more out of the class and the educational experience associated with that class. In the introductory video, if you watched it, we showed you how to access the site using CCIM.com. This video is going to show you a couple tips, tricks, and features that you may not necessarily be aware of. Before we get into that, I wanted to mention two things. The first thing is you may notice I'm using Firefox. I'm a Mac guy, and Mac comes with Safari, but the problem with Safari is it doesn't play very nicely with Canvas, especially when it comes to images, pictures, that sort of thing. So especially if you're a Mac user, you may want to steer clear of Safari. Use Firefox or Chrome or some other browser to get a little bit more better functionality out of the Canvas system. Second thing I want to mention is course tiles. So these right here are called course tiles. So those are active courses that you have. You see I have a couple showing up in my active course site. For you, for a student, these course tiles will only remain active for 90 days. So 90 days from the start of the class, you will have free access and you can access these course tiles as often as you want. After 90 days, that window closes. So the lesson in this story is make sure you download any material that you want off of that course site prior to that 90-day expiration time hitting. All right, so let's get into Canvas itself and some of the kind of the behind the scenes things to make it a little bit more personable. I'm going to go over here to account. So in that left gutter, there are several choices. I'm going to go to the account choice link. When I click on that, it expands into some additional nested links. First thing I'm going to talk about is notifications. So a notification is something that is alerting you that something's going on the course site. You have a couple different ways to be alerted. You can be alerted via email, you can be alerted via text. I'm choosing just email. So as we kind of roll down through here, you'll see a lot of different types of activities. The majority of these are not applicable in a CCIM course. We don't have assignments, we don't have quizzes, we don't have what we call multi-point grading systems. We have a final exam at the end that's winner takes all. So a lot of these things aren't really applicable. If you have ever taken a college course or if you have a child that's taken even down in the high school, you may be very familiar with Canvas as it's a very extensive system in the educational world. We don't use most of these activities. The first one that I'm going to come down to that we do use is right here, announcements. So announcements is typically used by instructors. Think about that as a one-way street, just like when you were in grade school, the morning announcements came over the PA system. This is very similar to the announcement functionality in Canvas. It's a one-way communication, typically from the instructor to all of the students. You probably want to have that turned on. You probably want to see that fairly quickly. The way we turn it on is right over here. Notify immediately is the current setting. If I hover over it and click, I'm given several choices. I could be notified immediately, which means an email would be sent to me as soon as an announcement was made. You can always also have a daily summary of all of the announcements that were made, a weekly summary, or you could turn it off completely. So those are your four typical choices. It would be wise to have notify immediately on for the announcements. Rolling down here to some of the other components, the next and last item that I want to talk about is discussions. So discussions is the discussion board. In a live class, you may use the discussion board a little bit here and there to post up questions and notes and extensions of conversations you had during that day. In the online class, this can be a primary method of communication. You probably want to see those discussions as they occur. As a new topic is posted, as topics that have been posted are replied to, as mentions are made. So I have mine all notified immediately turned on. You probably want to be notified at least daily at a minimum of those discussions. If not, you run the risk of missing out on some pretty good content that could get passed along. So that's the notification section. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is profile. So profile is a great way to personalize your canvas. And both of these things will stick. So this isn't just for one specific class. Once you make changes to your account, it stays as you go from course to course as you take various courses. So what profile does is it gives you the ability to personalize who you are, what you do, some of the skill sets that you bring. So again, in an online class especially, live class as well, but online class especially, this can be a really valuable way to build connections and build relationships. Very simple to do, right? Just go over here to edit profile, and that's how you put in additional content. You can put in links to any appropriate social media networks or channels that you have, and then just save it. So that's how you add or edit the profile, and then the same thing for your photo. Just go over there, a little edit button pops up, and shazam. It is literally that simple to add a picture. So those are two very simple things that you can do, but trust me, doing those two very simple things will really allow you to extend the usefulness and the functionality of Canvas. Have a great course.